Okay. Now I'll give you another one. Let's test you again. We've talked about this team. I'm testing you early. No chance. I'm not letting you get your shots up. We're just coming right out playing 94 feet full court defense on you.
I
Here we go. I
like
got
it.
another one.
I
Here's
like
another
it.
one. Talk about a trendy dog. There's no way Providence can win a game. Providence is totally
Oh,
overvalued. They're a fraud. They're the most that now, by the way, hold on. Before we get comments and tweets, I'm just repeating what others are saying. That wasn't. I'm just repeating what others are saying. Providence, don't get all over me. I'm just saying. We talked about this though. The metrics hate Providence,
they
but
do.
Providence wins games. So one of the trendy dogs, South Dakota State is a 13 over
Oh,
the 4 Providence. I can't. You need to put a Providence hat on, go walking around Vegas like you do, look for some Providence money because I can't find it. I
people
can't
are gonna
find it.
they're gonna start throwing stuff at me if I do that. If I wore Providence, I want to go dress up like a friar and walk through the book so I can walk through and tell everybody afterward, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. I don't even care about this game as far as a betting thing. Like I wouldn't bet this game. This line screams at me. It's 2. It has to be Providence favored because of the seed. A very common thing that people do when they bet is they look at the seed. I can tell you this, there's not a guy in a risk room anywhere that made a line on this that looks at the seeds. You don't look at the seeds. Those things get that they're a deterrent actually to me to betting. You got to know the numbers. Now you talk about these analytics and you talk about the metrics and they don't like Providence. But again, up until their last game, all they did was win. Did they win this basketball game, B-How? Because I'm rooting for them because I don't know if I could take the Jackrabbit love for a whole nother 2 days. If the Jackrabbits beat Providence, you might as well punch their ticket to the Sweet 16 because they're going to beat Iowa. That's what everybody keeps saying. And I'm like, oh, they shot well from 3. You and I did the game within the game every single week, and you would come up with a play. How do those teams that shoot good from 3, is it worth the sweat to take them when they play in these one and done tournaments?
So it's a great question. Not only do the Jackrabbits shoot well from 3, no one does it better. Number 1 in the country in 3-point field goal percentage.
Yeah.
So the variance, here's the challenge though, Dave. There's so many more teams that fall in this category. In the old days, we would just say, I'm not touching a team like that. And if they get hot, and I tip my cap. But now there's so many teams that do that, and that variance is real.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stay here because Iowa was an interesting case study too. What do we do with the Hawks that just won the Big Ten tournament? You like teams in the NCAA tournament that are coming off tournament titles in conference play. That is a good number to follow or a good team to follow, but we'll get to Iowa in a second because I'm not sure if I can trust the Hawks. But let's stay on Providence for a second. My guy Simon over at Shot Quality, which is a wonderful, fairly new analytics site that takes a look at the quality of shots you're getting and giving up and does some projections. His post-game box score win expectancies are really fascinating on what the percentage was. You see him in football a lot. You're seeing it from Simon in basketball at Shot Quality on based on the number of quality shots they got versus given up, who should have won more percent of the time. You can follow the train of thought there. Nobody has outperformed their shooting metrics offensively and defensively more than Providence. So there's another analytic model that tells you Providence is really living in a world where they shouldn't be based on their numbers. So at some point it runs out, but when? You saw it run out in the Big East tournament. Does it run out in this first game?
It ran out really bad in the Big East.
That's what happens.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. I mean, would they lose by 30?
Yeah.
29 points?
Right.
That's the way it ends for these teams. Does it end in round 1 for them?
I mean, all those numbers tell you it does, but here's the thing. You said you're staying away from it. Guess who's not staying away from it? Guess who's not? Give me some. Give me some. I mean, Providence was all over me. I've been telling you for weeks, the metrics don't like them. Nobody likes it. They don't like them. They can't come on.
So you're on South Dakota State?
No, I'm on Providence. Let's go.
Oh,
Let's go. I'm going contrarian. I'm going contrarian. South Dakota State, I
Okay.
respect what you've done. I know you
Okay.
can shoot it. You might run Providence out of the gym if you're hitting shots,
Right.
but give me a tested Big East team that's getting no love and is just getting told week after week after week how they don't belong. Got disrespected from a seed perspective. If I'm in that locker room, I'm Ed Cooley. I'm preaching that we were disrespected based on the seed, based on our
How much
season.
of that comes into play? I mean, you were in the actual you had the team that go to the Final Four. Like, you were there. Do you guys talk about that? Do the kids talk about it? As a coaching staff actually talk about stuff like that? Or do we just make that narrative up from the media perspective?
Yeah, it's a little of both, to be honest. There's some teams that do that, others that don't. That particular year, this 2010 that I'm talking about, West Virginia won the Big East tournament, went in as a 2 seed, felt it should have been a 1. That was an open discussion among players and coaches and staff that West Virginia, hey, we should have been a 1 seed here. You're going to give us a
Right.
2? All right, let's go. Fine. You're going to see why we're a 1. Let's go. We're going to the Final Four. So yeah, that happens, and some teams are motivated by that. Not blanket across the board, but some take that. So I'm going to go ahead here. I mean, I still think this is a coin flip, and that variance is way in play. South Dakota State can shoot its way into a win easily. They can get beat by 35 if those shots aren't falling.
Can this be? I was going to say, can this be a blowout for Providence?
If South Dakota State's just going to fire threes and doesn't hit them, I mean, Providence normally doesn't have a style that's going to run you out of the building.
That's what I'm worried about.
But
I
if
don't
you're
know
a
if
one,
Providence can
if you're
win this
South
thing
Dakota
by
State
10
and
points.
you're 1 of 17 in a gym that you're not used to playing in, I mean, okay, let me just ask you this as an overall theory. Do you like overs or unders in the first round of a tournament?
Unders.
You like unders. I know you like unders anyway.
Right.
You're in a weird building, weird times, weird teams. Emotions are high. There's a lot of things at play here. Give me Providence. I may be dead wrong, but give me Providence.
I talked to another guy on Sports Grid in Sirius XM 159 every day. His name's Coach James Young. He coaches women's basketball. He talked about this, and I wanted to ask you when we got together to do this show, how much time do these kids get teams practice in this building? They don't get much time to see the sight lines, the lighting, the dribble on the court. What do you get? 1 or 2 practices, then you go play?
Usually 1, and then you go play.
Wow.
Yeah, usually 1 and you play.
So unders, I mean, you know, I got guys that are blindly betting like the whole first half. They just take 32 games and spray the board under. And they asked me, Peralta asked me on Bostonian versus the book, how do you think that guy will do? I'm like, 500 or better. I think you go 500 or better if you blindly bet the first half unders of these first round games.
Okay. So you like my Providence, or you still want to stay away?
No, hell yeah, I'm riding with you. Are you kidding me? I'm rooting for Providence. I'm telling you, it will be a fun story, but I don't know if I could take 2 days more after of Jackrabbit stuff. Honestly, because South Dakota State is going to go to the Sweet 16. That's what everybody says. I'm like, what if they don't win the first game? Calm down, slow down.
Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, click on another video right here on the screen. And if you really liked it, consider subscribing below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.